Welcome to the Empower Women Show with Jane Trimble, the show that elevates and empowers women in the community by sharing their stories and showcasing their businesses. With me today in the studio is Sarah Johnston from Atlas York. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. Why don't we start with just sharing who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Okay. Well, you've already shared that I'm Sarah Johnston.
Yes.
I should actually be Sarah Turner.
Okay.
But that was the first fib I said to my husband upon our getting married, is that I was going to change my name.
Yeah.
And I still have not yet got to it. So Sarah Johnston, it will remain until the foreseeable future. So
Yes.
I'm from Rosetown, Saskatchewan, small town girl. I was born and raised on a farm.
Yes.
Technically it'd be Zeelandia, Saskatchewan, but for the purpose of this, we'll say Rosetown because I don't think many people know where Zeelandia is.
Nope.
I grew up with 3 brothers.
Okay.
And a very entrepreneurial family.
Yes.
My mother owned an insurance brokerage in Rosetown, and my dad was a farmer.
Beautiful.
And so I've always been a Saskatchewan girl, and I grew up kind of always having the 3 brothers always pushing you a little bit harder than necessary. So I took a university after finishing my high school in Rosetown.
Yeah.
And I went into human resources, so like business at the University of Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And I just really love people and, you know, human behavior. I loved it. So that's really kind of what started me into kind of my next 20 years of corporate leadership and business through Saskatchewan Blue Cross, GMS, Knight Archer, a bunch of local organizations here in Saskatchewan in a bunch of different diverse backgrounds, from like marketing, HR, leadership, you know, sales, the whole shebang. So
yeah. I know I was reading your bio before and I was like, I hope she mentions all this because I'm not going to remember it all. You've got such an impressive resume. And then your company is Atlas York, which is what?
Atlas York is a full service insurance brokerage. So your home, farm, auto, life, and group benefit firm. So basically all your employee benefits, your health, your travel, all those sort of things. And we are women owned.
Love it.
100% women owned. My business partner, Bobby, her and I actually have worked together for many years in our corporate world, and we left our corporate world probably, I guess it'd be 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we purchased actually my mother's business, Judy Johnston Insurance Services in Rosetown. And 6 months later, we bought 2 more local kind of rural brokerages and opened a 4th location all within our first year in Saskatoon where our 4th location is. So
that is so impressive. Exponential growth.
Yes, it's been a very fun and wild little journey.
I love it that you've took it on from your mum.
Yes.
So it was her business.
Absolutely, for over 24 years, yeah.
I'm sure you're very grateful to her for that sort of legacy that you get to carry on.
Yeah.
You know, and she's set the foundation.
Yeah. It makes it extra special because it's something that has been able to remain in the family.
Yeah.
And she built such a beautiful foundation. It was built on service.
Yes.
And it was a really strong agricultural community. And growing up in a farm and being a farm girl myself, you know, probably driving the tractor before I drove a vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of fit to continue on that legacy. And I think she's proud. She doesn't say it often, but I think deep down she's pretty happy that it stayed in the family and in the community.
Yeah.
And Bobby's like her second child, so my business partner.
I love it. You mentioned a word there that I love, service. Mm-hmm. How important do you think service is for running a business and for the success of a business?
Like, it's fundamental. Yeah. Like, I look at service not just like in how you handle your clients, but kind of to your community as well. Like, we have a service as a local business to give back to our communities and help support other local businesses within the community. And so for us, when we purchased Judy Johnston Insurance Services and renamed it to Atlas York Insurance, one of the fundamental things that we knew we had to contain was that service model that Judy had created and so many of these other local businesses had done. Mm-hmm. And so for us, we've strived to continue that really high touch model and very much so that community engagement. Those are some of our values, is that excellence and that community involvement and giving back to the communities that we ultimately work with or have clients in, or really all of Saskatchewan.
And how do you give back to the community? Do you want to share some of the things
Sure.
that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. We started again in that first year because we didn't have enough going on. We decided that we'd also start this community of care program. And what it is we actually, in the communities that we're in, we gathered funds and we have a matching partner, Sandbox Mutual Insurance, who matches the funds that we donate And it goes back to local organizations within the community. For our first year, what we did is we actually used the previous owners of the business and asked them what they felt would be something that would be wonderful to give back to the community. So we were able to give back to Little Legacy Learning and Plenty, which is a daycare and school program. We gave back to the Colville Endowment Fund, which is helping build schools and again, daycares for people in Colville, Saskatchewan. Rosetown, we gave back to this Wheels for Wheels, which is helping seniors get around and helping people that don't have those mobility issues. And then lastly, this year, and we also do like community, obviously I think one of the goals that we set out to do was always be present in our community. So we didn't want to be the ones that could give back the most. We're new into our entrepreneurial journey, so we knew that we couldn't be like the people that are donating the most or giving the most back. But we committed to being present in all of our communities. So we try to cut out, support people in ways physically, all the ways that we can to help show that we are helping build that economic development in all of our communities that we're in.
Powerful. Love it.
Oh.
And are you intentionally a female run, female team?
I get asked that question a lot because up until last month, we were 100% women employed.
Yeah.
We're 100% women owned. It was not intentional. It wasn't necessarily like a value that we were hoping to achieve. But I think that our culture really attracted people that were parents and people that were women because of that high touch service model. I've just really noticed that women, and especially women that have had children or have had experienced trauma or things of, high emotional intelligence that they need to have. It's just an industry from a service perspective that women just really do thrive in because they just have that care and that attention and that understanding when people are going through horrible things in insurance. I know insurance isn't very exciting, but we're here for people in sometimes the worst times of their lives.
Yeah, and it strikes me, you said, insurance is a horrible, has connotations.
Yeah.
However, if you restore the integrity piece of insurance, it's actually extraordinarily valuable. It's you're showing up at people's hardest, toughest times of great loss usually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, we all know that there's insurance out there that doesn't work for people, but it sounds like you guys are truly, getting back to basics with what insurance should do.
Yeah. We're trying to our best. Like one of the things I set out to do alongside Bobby was we wanted to make an impact. And we didn't plan to be large or, to grow a certain size. That wasn't necessarily part of our goals, but we wanted to be able to make that impact. And just seeing how we've grown from 4 employees to 20 in the first year and a half, growing to 4 different locations. We have another acquisition happening in a few days.
Wow.
So we're super excited about that.
Yeah.
And we're also in Saskatchewan and Manitoba.
Yeah.
Manitoba and Alberta.
Okay.
As well, we're licensed that way. We just really felt like that was how we could make a difference, was just, growth, giving back to the communities. And so that's really something that we set out to do. One of our other values is intentional, which I know it's a unique kind of value that way, but
it's a great word.
We really like to set all of our meetings start with an intention. To why we're here. I said I won't accept a meeting if it doesn't have an intention in it. So that's something that we absolutely have to do. So it's similar to a goal, right? What are we trying to accomplish in this meeting?
Yeah.
So we try to do everything with intent.
I love it. Did you have an intention before you came here today?
Well, you and I were chatting a little bit before we started, and I think my intent today was just to be truly authentic. And I don't like talking about myself. I love talking about my business, and I can do that every day.
Yeah.
So I just set out to be as authentic as I possibly could. So
you're achieving your goal.
Oh, thank you.
Authenticity is something that's really important to me, and this show is I think it might be one of the core values or principles of this show is authenticity. We're not a gossip talk show. I'm here we want to share real stories. So I really appreciate that about you and what you're bringing today. And so what is it? It sets you apart, definitely being a majority women, not almost all, team. What is it that, you mentioned high emotional intelligence earlier. Do you want to share a little bit more of what the flavor is working with all women?
Sure. Yeah. So I left my very stable corporate senior leadership positions in order to take on this challenge. I was pregnant at the time. And I remember resigning, and they're like, you can't resign, you're pregnant, your EI is going to be screwed up, so I was like, you know what, this is the time, it's the right time for me. And so I actually started, first day after having my baby, I showed up to work literally within days, and brought my baby to work. And realistically, what I'm trying to get at is that like my children fundamentally changed my trajectory of my career. I was so happy in my senior leadership roles. I loved it. I enjoyed everything aspect. There was variety, there was challenges, it was lovely.
Yeah.
But I just started to think about like what's bigger and how can I make that impact? And like I have children now that need some sort of legacy or something that they can, okay, here's money. Well, that's lovely, like amazing.
Yeah.
But like, let's leave them a business that they can actually take on. And that's what my mother did for me. And so it was something that was super important for me to start to build that way. Mm-hmm. And I think that what happened is I think that just probably because of my leadership style and because I was carrying around a 2-week-old and bringing them to the office and that sort of thing, it just started to attract people that obviously knew that was something that would never hold them back, is having children or having a family. And that work-life balance has always been such a huge and fundamental part of my life. Yeah. I very much try to practice it. If anyone knows me personally, I have a very active social life. I need that. I need people. Yeah. And so, but I also spend as much time as possible with my kids. And that's why I started this and did this, is so I could be with my family when I wanted to. It's the autonomy that I really was looking for.
Right. And that's what entrepreneurship or having your own business does. I totally agree. And I love that. Yeah. That's why I'm like, every woman be an entrepreneur.
I think people think that you work so hard. You do. And trust me, like I spent years, I have multiple educational background and diplomas and degrees and things like that. And I've worked my whole career for that, for sure. But it's like, you have that control and that autonomy to be with your family. And when I want to be with my family, I am. I'm with my family.
I love it. And if people watching wanted to find out more about Atlas York, where would they go to and how do they find you?
Oh gosh, we're all over social media. People are always saying that they see us everywhere. So follow us on LinkedIn, or you can visit our website at atlasyork.ca, I think it is. We are on Instagram, all the things. Or call us. We're in 4 locations. Stop by. Come say hi.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio today and taking time out of your very busy day and schedule.
Sure. Thank you for having me. This has been fantastic.
Yeah. Great. Well, have a great rest of your day. And until next time,
Queens belong on thrones. Let's put them there.
Effective social media marketing is so much more than posting pretty pictures on Instagram and Facebook. Undercover Creators are a female-owned social media marketing company in Saskatoon. Find them at undercover-creators.com. The Empower Women Show merch available at theempowerwomenshow.ca.